You're right, Steve. It's kind of the buzz. The buzz is around customer experience this year, and that whole new model of engaging customers differently to make sure they're getting the absolutely maximum value from their Cisco solution. That's the topic of the day. Feels like something. You know?
It's the lifeblood. Is this a matter of us just listening to what people want and responding to it? How did we get the idea to start doing these things in the first place?
No, absolutely. Let me give you just an example of a customer that is really living and embracing the customer success experience with Cisco. And this is Engena. Probably some of you heard Alistair and Marcus Hacke talking about the Engena. Engena is disrupting the SP market by offering SD-WAN services to the market, and CX is a key element in enabling the customer, providing with agility, with fast speed in a CI/CD mode, services to the market. So there couldn't be a better example than that.
That's so great. You know what we should do? For a lot of the people who are tuning into the broadcast who don't have an opportunity to be with us at Cisco Live, we need to get them here to Cisco Live. One of the ways we can do it, talk about what they can see in the customer experience if they join us on an event.
Sure. So we're everywhere in the event. Two particular places you need to check out. World of Solutions. We have lots of booths aligned around the different architecture pillars, so check those out, World of Solutions. The second place is our Technical Solutions Clinics. That's in the hub right here, just next door to us here, where you can just turn up, talk to an engineer about whatever you have on your mind, a new design, a problem. Those are the two big things.
And what about the people who can't make it to an event? How do they interact with what you guys are offering out there in the sphere, wherever they happen to live or wherever they happen to work?
Sure.
Well, there's tons of information, of course, available in the CX web. So they can go to the web, they can access to any of our team members. And I'd like to reinforce, in addition to what Phil just said, there's a key service, which is our flagship service, which is Business Critical Services, that Alistair Wildman is gonna present and talk about that in a few minutes. So stay tuned, that's coming live.
You are so great. You're helping me on my pitch. I'm keeping you with me the rest of the week here.
Okay.
We've got just about 1 minute here or so. Let's wrap this up by kind of talking about the next stage for the Customer Experience Center. Where do we go from here and what can we look forward to moving forward through 2019?
Sure. So Alistair in his pitch just coming up now.
Yes.
See another plug.
I love it, that's two.
There you go. It's all about the innovations we're driving into our office. You're going to see something, I won't steal his pitch, you're going to see an innovation called fingerprints. It's a way of data enabling our services to our customers. It's the coolest thing you will see at Cisco Live this year, so check that out.
That's so great. All right, so we are headed into the showcase here. Is this all new information, everything that we're about to hear, for the people who are tuning into the broadcast, for the folks here at Cisco Live 2019 Barcelona? We have not heard what is going to be coming from Alistair and from Tony in the next few minutes, right?
You have not. It's all new.
Okay, it's all new. So what do you want to do to set this up? We've got about 30 seconds before we're going to head over. What do you want people really to walk away with as far as a key message and strategy that they can then have better conversations on following?
Yeah, if I may, I think it's all about leveraging data and telemetry, AI, and to implement that for our customer success experience.
Yep.
So leveraging this data, understanding how they consume and they use it.
Perfect. We're going to head into that innovation showcase now.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Innovation Showcase Theater. My name's Toby and I have the pleasure of being your host today. Now we all know that to thrive in the new world of digital business, companies have to stay on top of innovation like never before. So we're bringing you 11 sessions here in the Innovation Showcase Theater where we'll be sharing with you the latest solutions, service innovations, and best practices which we know will inspire and inform you here at Cisco Live 2019. Now, the speed of change has never been faster, with both unprecedented opportunities and risks on your business. Now, delivering the outcomes you need to succeed in this hyper-connected world requires carefully navigating your digital transformation despite increasing challenges. In this session, Alistair Wildman, head of Cisco's Customer Experience in EMEA, and Tony Brook, Director Product Manager at Cisco, will share how Cisco leverages its unmatched intellectual property to develop services that accelerate your success like no one else can. Now, applying machine learning and data analytics to its unique global data set, Cisco can help businesses foresee the unpredictable, automate the unmanageable, and answer the unsolvable to help your businesses reach new heights. Ladies and gentlemen, Alistair Wildman.
Cheers, mate. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our session today. My name's Alistair Wildman from Cisco, and this is my first time at Cisco Live. I've actually been at Cisco for about 7 or 8 months now, so I'm still a newcomer-ish. And it's the first time I've ever been to this wonderful show and the first time I've ever presented on this stage. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to take you through a little bit of one of the great solutions that we have as part of Cisco Customer Experience. But before I go into the detail of this, does anybody not know what the Customer Experience team is here for? Does anyone not recognize this logo on my back? Everybody knows about Customer Experience? Shall I give you a little bit of background? Yeah, okay, I will do. Thank you. Around about 8 to 9 months ago, we decided that we were going to, as part of Cisco's transformation and our revolution, we decided to create a new organization within Cisco. It's around about 27,000 people. It's about a third of the company. And we took together 6 different parts of our post-sales organization and put them all into one team. So we took our amazing support services team, we took our ninja professional services team, we took our fantastic managed service team, along with our renewals organization, our customer success organization, and our operations and data and platform teams. And we brought them all together into one organization. And it's called Customer Experience. We didn't call it services because it's more than just services. And we didn't call it customer success because it's more than just customer success. So the Customer Experience team is the post-sales organization that works with our customers and partners to make sure you see value from the technology and the solutions that you buy from Cisco. So that's where the name comes from. Now, what else have we been doing at Cisco? Well, I think you've probably seen this slide now several times throughout the journey today because a number of presentations have used the same stats. But we've been doing a lot of listening to our customers. And we've been asking you questions. What do you want help with? And everyone, these are the top 4 answers that came back. The first thing that comes back is that you want help with complexity. You know, we're becoming more complex. The world is becoming more complex. The evolutions of the clouds and the on-premise and the network, it's all adding complexity. And our customers and partners are telling us that you want help with that complexity. The second most popular request we get for is you want help with agility. Because your demands and the demands of your customers, your business partners, your internal customers are that you've got to get things done quickly. And you need help with agility to give you speed and give you back time. The third thing, and actually I would have thought that would have come out, I would have thought this would have been number 1 actually, but it seems to have come third. I actually think this is the most important thing is security. I mean, security is absolutely everywhere now. It was just really interesting. I was talking to one of my colleagues, Greg, and he was saying, did you get the email 2 days ago which told you your mailbox was full? And I was like, yeah, I did do. He said, did you click on it? And I said, no, I forgot to click on it. But you know what I did? I cleaned out all my mailbox and deleted all my sent items. He said, no, it was from internal IT to see if you were stupid enough to click on it. Now, Greg did click on it, so well done, Greg. But I didn't. I just killed every email I had thinking, oh my God, I've come to the end of my mailbox. But you know what? This is just one form, security. And I know how busy our security stands have been over there. So security is a massive issue. And it's not going to go away, and it will continue. And finally, talent, people. I mean, you know, this is a great recruitment fair for us all. Obviously, we know that you guys are struggling. We are struggling with talent. We've currently got over 300 open roles in our EMEA organization. And it's a talent war out there. We're competing with ourselves, we're competing with our competition, and we're competing with the fact there's not enough roles. Currently, in Europe, Middle East, and Africa, there are over 500,000 open job roles for IT at the moment, open across the whole. There's about 75,000 in Germany, there's 55,000 in the UK, and it goes on and it goes on. So we know that you need help with talent, and that is an absolutely key thing. As part of our evolution, and as part as we looked at ourselves at Cisco, and we kind of put a mirror up to ourselves, there's this great quote which came inside the Forbes magazine. And what it really says is that by 2020, customer experience will overtake price and product or functionality as the key differentiator when customers make decisions. And you know, we see that ourselves at Cisco. We've got amazing product groups that bring out fantastic solutions. But we know in 1 or 2 quarters, the companies that we compete with, they will have similar products and similar functionalities. We can't compete on price alone. If you compete on price, it doesn't work. And we know that one of the biggest drivers why customers are, why you're all here, and why we love doing business with you as Cisco is because of our customer experience. And this really helps when you think about how we named our organization, because everything we do at Cisco in Cisco Experience is putting the customer at the center. Okay, this is a little bit about, now, has anyone seen this graphic before? It's been on a few slides, yeah, So this is what we call the racetrack. And this is not a Cisco slide, by the way. It's actually an industry slide. But if you think about where we've been at Cisco, we are absolutely fantastic at the right-hand side. Sorry, it's the wrong way around. Which is basically our sales organization. We've got incredibly commercial. We love to get deals done. You know, we're really good at explaining the need, evaluating, and then the purchase. But what we hadn't done a great job on, and that's why we brought these 6 different teams together, was actually the left-hand side, which is actually the post-sales organization. And so right now, you'll see a lot of focus as you talk to our teams in the stands, as you talk to our professional service colleagues, as you talk to our support organization about how we help customers. When you buy the solutions and the technology, we want to make sure you see value from everything you're buying. And what we will do as part of the customer experience is we're tracking all our customers with our technologies through what we call the lifecycle. And this figure-of-8 racetrack is the lifecycle. And we want to make sure that as you roll out the WebEx technology, you're using DNA Center, you've got a fantastic automation project with ACI, we can move customers through these little dots, we call them pit stops, with a view that when you get to renew, it's a fantastic experience. You've moved from using to choosing to loving Cisco, and that we can renew our business together. And that's the aim of everything we do here within the customer experience team. And again, to help augment that, we have a fantastic suite of services. So I said before, we've got our incredible managed service organization. We've got our support services, which is a huge number of people, award-winning TAC. We've got the business critical services. We've got our advisory services, security, our application development services, and design and implementation. But today, what I want to focus on is just one of those areas, okay, because it's a short presentation. So what I want to talk to you is about how I think we can help you. So first of all, I want to help you get more value from the money you're spending with Cisco. The second thing that I want to talk about today is how we can help you de-risk those investments. And the third thing is definitely a key thing for me is how can I accelerate you and how can I move you faster? It's my great pleasure to welcome on stage a great colleague and friend of mine, Tony Brook, who's going to talk a little bit about our business critical services. I didn't high-five you. So Tony, is this a new service? I mean, do we have, how many customers are using business critical?
No, it's not a new service. Before I do that, he threatened to high-five me on stand, which is so not an English thing to do, but we'll do it anyway.
Awesome. So Tony, tell us a lot about business critical.
Well, it's actually a service we've been going for well over 10 years, actually. And from that perspective, we've been delivering these services, customers consuming that over the last 10 years, and in excess of 3,000 customers are using that service today. What's changed is we're now embedding automation into that service. Coupled with the Cisco expertise and the analytics in that service is really helping us drive real value for our customers. And that's what we're really focused on with business critical services. And I'll talk a bit more about that. I guess the starting point in this has to be in terms of what's standing in the way of our customers' growth and transformation today. From our experience, and coupled with and underpinned with Gartner's research in this, we found that 70% of IT budget is focused on run the business, with just 30% focused on grow and transformation. And that represents a huge challenge for our customers, and how they address that and move that budget from operations and run the business into those grow and transformation to really help transform and drive change in the business. And that's where business critical services come in. It's absolutely focused on how we help accelerate and drive transformation and help operationalize the assets, the network in the run IT aspects. And that's what we're focused on. So how are we addressing that challenge with business critical services? Well, firstly, it's a subscription-based service that is focused on providing services for operations, engineering, and architecture. And the important point here, it's Cisco expertise combined with analytics and automation that's helping do that. From an operations perspective, we're absolutely laser-focused on helping our customers drive operational value in the network. And that's looking at how we optimize and drive optimization whether it's configuration or design in the operations environment. From an engineering perspective, it's absolutely focused on how we help implement better implementation of the assets that they're purchasing today. And of course, from an architecture point of view, it's how we help them make the right technology choices and ultimately the right design architecture to meet the demands of the business. And for business critical services today, it's all about the expertise, the analytics, and the automation. But fundamentally, it's about us driving a customer experience that really truly exploits the networks and helps our customers get more value out of the investment they've made in their network. And that's what we're doing.
So Tony, amazing, 3,000 customers today. That's a fantastic service. So Tony, can you tell me a little bit more about how expertise and analytics can actually help drive value for our customers?
Let me break that down a little bit further. From an analytics perspective, we absolutely monitor the network, and we're capturing data like syslog information, hardware information, software information, and we're collating that information and correlating that with an intellectual capital of the assets that we've got in our environment and the global network. So we're looking at what is the best practice from a configuration point of view, from an implementation point of view, and we're exposing that data in the form of a graphical interface, what we call business critical insights. But it's the use of that data and the insights from that data, coupled with the engineer, that is really crucially important. It's one thing to capture the data in the network. It's quite another to compare that with the global network that Cisco monitor. And so that's where we're getting the value from that. So the value is in the data and the insights there, but also coupled with the engineering and what we call expert care services. Let me expand on the expertise piece. The expertise is coupled with what we call the expert care service. This is not a managed service. It's a premium support service. From an IT operations point of view, it's fundamentally ITIL. It's a service management function. It's a service operations function. But it's coupled with a customer engineer. And the important piece here is that customer engineer knows your entire network end to end. And the operations manager works with the engineer to make sure that we drive operational efficiencies and drive value in the investment you've made in the network. So they're constantly looking at and monitoring your network, looking at the data and the insights we've captured from monitoring your network, and looking at where we can improve and drive best practice from an implementation point of view.
Fantastic, Tony. But Tony, customers, they already have partnerships and great engineering skills. How does this service drive, operational and efficiencies and reduce costs? And also, what are we doing around automation for our customers?
Okay, I mentioned earlier the need for automation. The service has been going for 10 years. And we've evolved the service. We're absolutely driving automation and analytics in the network. And the first example is what we call automated fault management, or essentially automated incident management. Over the last few years, we've been working with the BEs, and we've developed an intellectual capital of signatures in a database. And what we're doing is we're monitoring the customer's network to look at the network and see if there's any matching with the signatures that we have in our database with those of the customer. When we find that, the application automatically triggers an event. It creates an incident, and it creates an attack case. So as soon as the signatures are matched in the database, i.e. there's an incident in the network, a fault, that automatically creates a case with TAC. The important thing here is that automation is not just a Cisco piece of automation. We've written and developed that so that we can integrate with IT service management platforms to triage. So the whole triaging activity now becomes automated, not just with Cisco TAC, but with our customer as well. And that whole automation and the triaging of those activities is really driving operational efficiency. It's that automation from a triage and service desk perspective that's taking literally hours out of an incident. So from an automated fault management perspective, that's what we're doing. And that's leading to a faster time to detection and a faster time to resolution, which from a customer's perspective is all about reducing downtime and improving resolution and response times. And this AFM is truly doing this. We're doing this in our customers today. The other piece is fingerprinting. And I guess everybody wants to be predictable. Well, from a Cisco perspective, we truly are. We've got patents pending in this capability. And from a fingerprinting point of view, what we're doing is we're looking at device profiling. We're identifying every single device, and we're looking at patterns in those devices to identify potential high-risk assets. So from a network perspective, we're looking at pattern match and looking at the assets across your network and looking at what potential risks there are. What that does, that device profiling, an individual asset perspective, it identifies high-risk devices. And I mentioned business critical services before, the Insights portal, is that exposes those risks in the form of risk patterns in the network. And so from a network perspective, I can begin to see potential risks associated with the assets in my network as a percentage. And that's really important for me because I can now begin to predict potential outages in my network based on that profile that's being done with fingerprinting. And so that's what we're doing from an automation perspective. And actually, from a predictive network perspective, that's brilliant.
So, Tony, earlier I spoke about customers need to accelerate innovation and reduce risk. Can you provide a few examples of what we're doing in this area?
Yeah.
After you've had a drink.
Vodka. Yeah, absolutely, Alistair. I think the key thing here is, and this is a hugely important piece, when any customer makes an investment in Cisco technology, which is fantastic, by the way, it's hugely important when they deploy those assets in the network that you take all the risk. I don't want to start spending $100,000 on assets and then deploying it in my production network for you to create outages. So from my perspective as a customer, I want to make sure that you de-risk that implementation. It's not just about buying an asset. I want you to help me accelerate the adoption of that technology and de-risk that. And with continuous automation and integration testing, this is a set of capabilities where we provide on-site testing. So a test manager, scripting engineer, along with the tools associated with that process, come to site and help you deploy and implement those Cisco technologies in a pre-staging environment. Of course, we have customers that insist on that being built in labs, quite rightly so, particularly with some of the complex implementations. So the automation and testing service, which, by the way, is inherently part of the subscription that you pay for business critical services, helps to automate and drive automation and accelerate the adoption of your technologies. And fundamentally, and I think this is the important piece, to help you de-risk the implementation. And from a Cisco perspective, when we talk about customer experience, that's critical. We want you to come back and buy more hardware. We want you to come back and be a customer that loves us. And from a Cisco perspective, the BCS, the Business Critical Services piece, this piece here is all about how we help de-risk, accelerate, and drive innovation in your network. And that's important for us. The other aspect is compliance and automation. This is a huge capability that sits within Business Critical Services, again, as part of the subscription service. And we're often faced with our customers who are challenged with the regulatory environment, where they have to have a high degree of compliance with, be it software or hardware in the network, but also a high degree of compliance from a corporate point of view. And the compliance and automation capability is fundamentally about how we help you become compliant. So this capability and the tools associated with it, and of course the Cisco expertise, helps identify the level of compliance, be that associated with a corporate compliance standard, or of course a regulatory or industry compliance standard. So in essence, what we're doing is we're running reports to assess how compliant your network is with the associated regulatory environment, or indeed the corporate blueprint, the corporate focus around compliance. And so that's what we're doing here. The key thing here is automation, automation, automation. There's a huge amount of what, this is not 100 people sat behind doing reports. This is a set of tools with expertise from Cisco that help you understand how to drive compliance and drive that compliance for you. And I think the automation piece is important. The other aspect of this service is the configuration. This is really important for us. This is where we have customers who have small change windows with hundreds, if not thousands, of devices that need to change, whether it's a configuration change or even a software update. Well, part of this service is how our tooling and expertise can help accelerate and de-risk the change in your network. And there are some examples here, whether that's automating configuration, whether it's automating software updates, or of course driving compliant reports. And I'll give you one example. I was last year recently involved in a customer who wanted to use this service. They were being told it was a 3 to 4 month process to invoke changes over 1,000 devices. That's really quite difficult. An awful lot of change windows, an awful lot of sunk costs associated with that change. With the compliance service, the automation service, what we did is we did over 1,000 changes in one 8-hour change window. Now, an 8-hour change window is pretty long, I know that, for the IT leaders in the room. But within the 8-hour change windows, we placed changes on 1,000 devices. 1,000 devices. That was software updates, that was configuration changes. And so that gives you an idea from a 3-4 month project to change 1,000 devices to one 8-hour change window. But don't get me wrong, there was huge amounts of planning, there was huge amounts of testing that went on for that, but we absolutely implemented that service. And that's another example of where we're combining Cisco expertise with automation and with tooling. And that's the differentiated capability that helps drive value in your network and reduce your costs.
Tony, I mean, there's some fantastic features there from our business critical services, but what does it look like if you go through like on a daily basis? What's it like to engage with our service?
Well, for those IT leaders in the room, I apologize. I'm going to be an IT guy for a few minutes, if I may, so humor me. What I'd like to do now is take you through the day in the life of an IT operations manager consuming this service. It's 8 o'clock, I'm logged in. I'm using business critical insights to get a feel for what's gone on in my network. It's giving me some data, some insights associated with what's changed in my network, any potential risks, any potential issues. It's giving me a view on the software view and the assets and inventory management. I just check in on a daily basis. We call it a good morning screen. So I'm logging in, and it's a good morning. I've got no issues. I do notice something, though. There's a bit of an issue. I can see from the Insights portal, I've got a red flag. There's a red alert telling me that I've got 45 devices in a particular cluster that have a greater than 30% risk of outage. I'm a bit concerned about that because that has a real business impact and a part of my business that would really cause me a problem. So I've sent an email to the network customer engineer from Cisco and the operations manager. I know they're already aware of it, but I want a conversation on this today because I want to know how they're going to mitigate that risk. It's 9 o'clock. I've got a meeting now. I'm in the meeting with the compliance and automation team. We did 350 changes this weekend, a fantastic change window for us, 350 devices, 348 successful, 2 failed. I want to know why 2 failed. I want a conversation not about how successful the 348 were, but why we had 2 failures. The good thing about this is with the compliance team, they're talking me through what happened. The important point is they had rollback, clearly had rollback. So there was no impact to my business, but we had 2 devices that failed. So a good change window with root cause analysis already clear and understood, and I know what plans they're going to do to remediate those two locations for me. The other piece of this meeting, I'm talking through the compliance team, and we're talking about a major change window coming forward. We're looking at the configuration aspects, and I'm looking at 1,000 devices. Again, I'm looking over the next 2 or 3 weeks, a number of change windows when I need to make a lot of changes. I don't want them done in a day. They can tell me they can do that. I want to spread my risk. So we're talking to the planning team and the automation team about what they're going to do to script this. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty confident on the weekend's changes. I'm feeling pretty good about what they're telling me about the plans are in terms of how they will change it for the next change window over the next 3 weeks. I've got a major change going on in the data center. This is pretty impactful. Some pretty complex technologies. I'm now talking to the automation team and the configuration team. So from a testing point of view, I've got the compliance team and the change team. They're in this meeting with me now. I'm talking to the team around the test plans. This really worries me. This is a major change. I've got the Cisco service, part of the business critical services that I pay for. They're in the meeting, they're talking to me about what the test plans look like. They've done some pre-staging, they're showing me the test scripts, they're showing me the success of the test plans. I'm not convinced. I want more from this. This is too big, this is too risky for my network to be satisfied in one meeting. I've asked the Cisco team to set me up a lab in their data center, not mine. I want it in their data center. I want these tests really run through. I'll be visiting the Cisco data center with the test engineer, with the test manager, and the operations team, along with my team, to witness this test and change firsthand. I'm that concerned. What's good about this is Cisco have already done this. They've done the test scripts, they've done it, and they're really confident. But they expect and understand my risks and my concerns, and so we're going to go into their data center, and they're going to replicate and build the labs out to test it so that I can see this working. And that's really important for me. It's 1 o'clock. Good meetings with Cisco today. Feel pretty confident about that. The testing, the scripting, the compliance, feeling good about that. I'm into the Insights portal. I've got a meeting coming up this afternoon. I'm looking at the performance of my network. I'm exploring the KPIs. Are the KPIs good? Are there any red flags? Anything for me to be concerned about from a dashboard and operations perspective? My network manager is going to be in the meeting. I feel good about that. I know that he's looked at this as well. I'm having a look at this. I'm seeing if there are any security reports, any vulnerabilities that I need to be aware of. I'm exploring that in terms of making sure that I'm aware of the exposure that I may or may not have before I go into this meeting, because this meeting is really important. I'm now meeting. It's 3 o'clock. This is my weekly meeting with the team. This is the best meeting of the week, because I have some real experts from Cisco at the table that truly understand my network. Not the devices in it, but how my network is bolted together. They understand my architecture. They understand my implementation. They understand the exposure and risks associated with the different environments that I've deployed Cisco in. And this is really important to me because it feels like they're part of my extended team. This is not a TAC engineer who's talking about a specific device. This is a customer engineer who's talking about my network with an operations manager that understands release and change and configuration management and truly understands my environment. what's really on the agenda today, I want to know what best practice they've done. Because these guys are supposed to tell me, based on the insights they capture from the data from my network, where can I improve it? Where can I improve my SLA from 99.98 to 99.9? How are they going to do that for me? That's what I care about, because that's what I'm running. So this meeting's really important. So they're going to talk to me about where they can improve and drive operational efficiency in my network. And we'll review that with them. What's really important for this meeting, these are the same team that I emailed this morning that also looked at and saw the red flag in terms of the fingerprinting. This exposure that I've got a 30% risk of outage with some network assets. The team are now talking me through the risk associated with that. What are the potential risks? What is the mitigation plan? What are their plans to make sure that I don't get exposed with that risk through this fingerprinting? This machine learning that Cisco are now doing, which is really giving me the insight and predictability about making sure that I don't have that fault and have an outage, which is really important for me. So a good day with Cisco. 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm a network operations manager. It happens. Okay, it happens. 1 o'clock, I get my text alert. I've got a severity 1 outage. I'm now concerned. I'm now pretty worried. A severity 1 outage in my world that's my job, right? So I'm now pretty worried about this. The good news is I'm subscribing to the business critical services, and automated fault management and incident management has already detected the issue. It's already created and triaged the event, not just in terms of TAC. So I've now got a TAC engineer who, by the way, has got copy of the configuration information, the show commands from the device that has caused this problem, is already troubleshooting this before I get out of bed. He's already looking at the issue, because AFM has triggered a Cisco TAC case. Not only that, it's got the information to help me troubleshoot that, it's also triaged and triggered in Remedy. So my incident response team, my incident management team, and my own network team are now already working on this problem, which is crucial. I'm not spending 30 minutes dealing with triaging. It's happening in the background. It's all automated. And that's really important for me, because that's reducing my time to resolution. It's reducing my time to resolution, which is a cost issue for me. Notwithstanding that, I've got a severity 1. This can't be hours. This is minutes. And that's important. The important piece here is this is the expert care service kicking in. So this is my operations manager from Cisco. This is my customer engineer from Cisco that's helping triage, working with TAC, working with my network team, working with my incident management team to help solve that problem. And that's important. That auto-ticketing and that triaging of that activity is critically important to help drive the time to resolution down for me in my business. It's 1:30 a.m. I'm now on the call. The good news is it's fixed. I know it doesn't already happen like that. It's fixed. It's 1:30. The important thing here is that was fixed within 30 minutes. The important thing is the triaging activity and the automation that AFM enables was crucial to a time to resolution. And on a severity 1 incident, that is important. I don't care how they do it. What I care about is they do it. So from a Cisco point of view, thank you. What's really important now for me is that's great, but in the morning when I go into the office, I know the CIO will be waiting for me. He'll want to know what root cause analysis. You know, RCA is really important. When I have an outage, my focus, solve the problem. When it's solved, my focus, why did I have the problem in the first place? And the value of the Cisco service here is that whilst I go away and review that with my team, the Cisco team will be providing me with a root cause analysis perspective. So when I go in the office, I'm able to articulate exactly why we had that problem and how we're going to mitigate that problem from happening again. And that's the day in the life of me, the operations manager, purchasing a business critical services. So where's the value then, having shared that with you? From our point of view, when we talk to our customers and we've underpinned this with research, is that from an operations point of view, we have seen absolutely a 74% increase in less downtime with our customers. It is truly helping drive operational efficiency in our customers' network. And I'll just give you an example of a day in the life, and that is real, that's happening. From an engineering point of view, we're absolutely seeing improvements in terms of faster time to market. We work hand in hand with our customer engineers, helping them understand the best implementation, the best practice from an implementation point of view. And that's truly helping, and that partnership truly helps accelerate that implementation and it helps accelerate the adoption of our technologies. And from an architectural point of view, making the right technology choices in the first place and the right architecture is critical in making sure that I don't have those issues in the first place. And we're absolutely seeing an improvement, in that perspective as well, I'd say.
Fantastic. Thank you, Tony. Round of applause for Tony. Thank you very much. Tony Tony is the only man who can speak faster than I can. So between us, we've actually got 10 minutes left, which is amazing. So thank you very much, Tony. I think we've heard a lot there about what business critical services can do to help you as a customer and with our partners as well. The key takeaways for me really are, it's one of the fastest products we've ever brought to market. You know, we've got over 3,000 customers that currently consume this service. And there's a huge amount of information and data that we could talk you through. But it isn't possible to do Q&A in here because of all the noise. If you look over there, into the little green section there, okay, you're waving, right. You see those ninjas over there that are waving at you? That is the business critical team, and they would love to go and talk to you. So after the presentation's finished, I was going to do a conga, but they've banned me. You know, I know, I can't do that. But if you'd like to go over and see our team over there afterwards and spend a little bit of time, they can take you through the dashboards, take you through the analytics, and take you through all the information. And with that, I'm going to give you 9 minutes back in your day. I want to thank you for being here, and I hope to see you all soon. Thank you very much. All right.
And we want to welcome you back to the Cisco TV broadcast studio. My name is Steve Moulter. We are coming to you live from the middle of the hub here at Cisco Live 2019 in Barcelona. Another phenomenal innovation showcase. And I kind of want to riff on this a little bit, discuss what we heard about in the customer experience. To do that, I'm going to just turn to my left. There's my buddy Nish Parker.
Hi,
How are you, my friend?
I'm good, thank you.
It's the first time that we've been together in the studio.
Today. We were there yesterday.
Well, I know yesterday, but that was so fun.
That was another day.
It feels like so long ago, doesn't it?
It does.
Look, you look at how much was covered here just since about 9 o'clock this morning when we kicked this whole thing off, holding cups of coffee, and it feels like a million years ago.
It does. We've covered so much today.
We have. Let's talk customer experience just a little bit. Tell me what you have been seeing here at the event regarding customer experience. We'll talk a little bit about conversations we've had, not just in the Innovation Showcase, but also up here.
Yeah, so we've just had Alistair Wildman from our CX organization in EMEA. He's just been at the Innovation Showcase. Super interesting. One of the things that I always hear my customers talking about is how can Cisco support me and help me further? And it's great that we have all these innovative products and solutions. So CX is essentially what customers may remember as our two separate services organizations. So we used to have technical services, things like SmartNEC and TAC, which we of course still have today. And then we'd have advanced services, which is sometimes more niche services in which customers can use things like design, validation, and support and implementation services as well, and of course business critical. So the CX organization is about bringing those two together and essentially delivering the ultimate customer experience, exactly what the name says.
Exactly what the name says. And the customer experience centers are set up everywhere. It's not quite what we're seeing here at the show, but the idea of being able to reach out to the customer to say, we are here for you. What problem are you trying to solve? Cisco is here to partner up with you in that particular arena, get you to that next step and advance not only your digital transformation, but really advance you within the marketplace to be able to get that market share that you are going after. We had a great conversation. It was a short one. Phil and Mario were here right before that innovation showcase kicked in, and what they were really talking about is the demand within different organizations, right? So I asked them, I said, where did this really come to light? How did we know that we needed to make more out of our customer experience? Healthcare was one of those big areas where the need from the marketplace seemed to drive how we were responding here at Cisco. You know, when you pull it up even on the website and you look at something, I'm just going to read this. This is straight off the website. Truth in advertising. Organizations that deliver great customer experiences will realize positive business impacts on customer loyalty, operational efficiency, and growth. That kind of lays it out flat, right?
Absolutely, and it's similar in media as well. We have so many different use cases which I use with a variety of different services that Cisco offers. So just to give an example of one is, for example, in an outside broadcast truck where these trucks drive around the country and they're filming all these different sports matches, different entertainment. It's your world, Steve. It's all about theater and showbiz, the glamorous world of showbiz. And some of the services that we offer, so for example, things like validating designs, helping to put the customer at ease, doing network analysis to see how the network is performing and really helping helping to optimize that. So customer experience, some of the services that we offer, it's really about getting the most out of the Cisco solutions.
It's really true, and you know what, listening. We talk about this over and over again. We learn the most, and we create the most, and we succeed the most when we just sit back and listen. What do you need? What can we do for you to help bridge that gap? I also feel when you walk around the world of solutions, we've got over 120 of our partners in there. That's where those partnerships come from as well. The customer experience is what drives those new partnerships. And not only that, even the long-term existing partnerships, right? So if you take those companies that we have built so much with over the years, we hear the demands from the customer, what is their realistic experience in the field, what do they need to accomplish, and how do we take the next steps with those partners to build what the market demands?
Absolutely, I think customer experience and the services that we offer on top of the products and the solutions that we have is really just a great match and greatly married together.
Absolutely.
So we're going to throw back to Rob now, who's in the world of solutions. I was just going to be speaking to Alistair, who's just come out of the innovation talk.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you so much. Yes, we just fresh off the show floor. Alistair Waldman joins me. I keep trying to shorten your name, but Wildman.
Wildman, yeah.
That is fantastic.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for giving me some time today on this wonderful Cisco TV show.
Well, it's my pleasure, because so we're going out to a huge international global audience. I mean, tens of 20 or maybe 21 people all watching live right now. I'm not just kidding. It's a lot going out also on the show floor as well. Before we go too far, I know you had recommended people go over to the booth to be able to ask questions about more. We're going to cover some details here, but first give me your title and what you're responsible for, and a little bit about yourself in terms, because you're new to Cisco. I want to make sure everybody gets to know you better.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Hi, everybody. My name's Alistair Wildman, and I run the customer experience team across EMEA. We're a new organization. We've actually been around for about 9 months, and I'll come back to that in a second, but my background, I've been in software for about 20 years. I was at Microsoft and Salesforce and VMware, and now I'm at Cisco, and I'm absolutely loving it. It's just an incredible time to be in the customer experience team. But the question I know you're asking is, what is customer experience? Because everybody asks me the same question. Is it a philosophy? Is it a portfolio? Is it a team? And the answer is, it's actually all those. So we've taken all our post-sales organizations, which is about 27,000 people globally, and we've put them all into one single team with the customer at the center of everything we do. So we've got our amazing support services team, we've got our ninja, professional services teams, we've got that amazing asset, our managed service teams, along with our renewals teams, our customer success teams, and our platforms teams as well. And they've all come together into one organization with a view that we want to make sure that the post-sales experience that our customers have with Cisco is just amazing. We want customers to go from choosing to using to loving Cisco. And it's coming together. I mean, we're about 8 months old. I work for Maria Martinez, who's our wonderful leader, and we're doing things that are different, and we're part of this disruptive change that Cisco is completely disrupting itself. If you think about where we've gone as a company, we've moved very quickly to recurring revenue, software and cloud, and the customer lifecycle are imperative. And we're the organization that catches the customer lifecycle, and then we help our customers see value from the investments they've made.
So hopefully this is not too early to ask you a question like this, but I'm kind of curious, what kind of examples would you cite as changes that we are either have already made or starting to make, or things we're doing as we partner with customers differently to be able to change the experience? I mean, I think we've always prided ourselves on certain types of support, but I'd say it's more on the technical support side. So we really do need to contrast, as you say, the way in which we're focused on solutions and the way it's not about, oh, the PO's done, we're out of here. This is about a relationship, it sounds like, as well.
Yeah, so I think the first point I should make, and I've had this firsthand from customers, that Cisco is absolutely got this incredible reputation for going above and beyond with customers. We do things that other companies just would never dream of doing. If something goes wrong, if a customer is in trouble, we absolutely throw the A-team in there, and they get an incredible response from us. But it was a little bit fragmented. When we had 6 different teams that were all kind of working together but not fully aligned, we actually found there was little cracks in between the organization. What we've done by bringing everybody into one team and making every single member of the customer experience team part of this transformation is that we've just centered everybody around the customer, not around the P&L or the margin, just around that customer. And we're seeing some incredible results already. We're seeing the relationship with customers in areas that we never had a conversation before. We're seeing customers who now are starting to measure the value for that investment with Cisco. And what it will lead to, and what we're seeing, is that we can open doors in areas that, quite frankly, would probably been close to us, but we augment the incredible work the sales organization is doing, and we continue that customer journey. Have you seen our figure of 8, the racetrack? It's a slide that I had up there. I know I can't do slides here, but the idea is that you've got your post-sales and
finger puppets. We got, yeah.
It's the figure of 8. We want to make sure that we can help our customers move around the racetrack till they get to the renewal, which is a binary event for us. If we've done our job, the customers deployed that technology, they've seen the value, they will renew that technology, and we're a renewals business. Yeah. And we've got a massive book of renewals there.
Am I right in summarizing to a certain extent by saying we've always been really good at the dive and catch and kind of throwing resources at something no matter what the expense, unfortunately, but really taking a look and saying, wait, how do we move that element much further into the process, all the way to the point of not just being proactive, but actually changing how we develop products and software with that end goal of customer satisfaction in mind?
Absolutely. I mean, if you look at our CAT process, it's amazing. I mean, we shouldn't have it, but we do have it, and it works. But that's really about throwing people and being reactive after an issue. What we're doing now is being proactive. I mean, I've just been talking about the business critical services on stage there. This is a $2 billion portfolio for us inside Cisco. It's the fastest growing service product we've ever launched. 3,000 customers. And what they do is they have a pool of resources with analytics and machine learning to allow them to look at their technology investments, their network and the data center in collaboration, and proactively solve problems before it even hits the customer. I mean, that's just one example of being part of customer experience team. And then we've got our wonderful customer success teams who are out there in the ground, who are talking to customers and saying, okay, how can we help you get more value from that deployment? How can we help you go faster? How can we help you, with the most important thing that customers want is time. They just don't have enough time, and we can provide people, we can help with complexity, and we can help with the skills gap to help the customers get to where they're going to.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I know, so obviously you guys are in the world of solutions. Actually, you're in the Cisco Showcase area, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. It's a shame we can't walk over there now, but if you go just behind the theater here, there's this great business critical services group there, and we've got about 100 ninjas on there who are today working with customers, who are helping them find solutions and helping to explain a little bit more about what we do. Those guys are the glue. Those guys do all the hard work. I get the easy job. I just stand on stage talking with people like you. Yeah. But those are the guys that are doing all the work in this show. They're brilliant, amazing people.
Well, I'll tell you what, having just met you, if you're half as good at leadership and implementation as you are at speaking to what you do, I think we're going to be in fantastic shape. I love the energy, and I like the idea that we're going places and we're making changes that I think assure that all of us have a good place in kind of planning and building the future as we move forward, making it better for everybody. Yeah,
I mean, we are going places, but we've got the support of the whole company behind us. I sit down with Wendy, who's my sales colleague, and we plan customer experience together. And we can feel the movement, we can feel what's happening in the marketplace. This is a really exciting time to be in Cisco. We're doing some great things in customer experience, but watch this space, we're just starting. This is a multi-year program, maybe 4 or 5 years, and we're probably never going to finish. It will just keep evolving and evolving.
All right. Hey, Alistair.
All the best. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. And I see now that Wildband is not actually just a name. Hey, guys, if you didn't get a little bit of energy off of that, then something's wrong with you. Customer service, the customer experience, everything that we're doing here, it's changing rapidly, and boy, people like that are leading the way. So we'll go back to you in the studio.
Man, Rob, you could not have put it any better. I was listening to Alistair talk there, and that is what you want. You want that kind of advocate, that sort of guru with incredible dynamic energy, somebody who really brings the story to life. This is all about storytelling. This is how we get people on board with these fantastic new ideas that Cisco is developing. So, Alistair, keep up that great work, and we're going to keep listening to all the stories you have to tell us. Everywhere we go, we see great examples of how Cisco is building bridges wherever we go. I want to introduce a video here from National Instruments. National Instruments worked along with Cisco to help deliver a lot more bandwidth to their offices all over the world and control spend and increase their speed and flexibility. It's such a good example of how we are helping companies all over the world move off their legacy networks and really increase their agility, listen to me, agility and response times. I got to slow down, take it all in. Alistair got me all worked up. I want to give myself a minute over here. You guys enjoy the video. I'll see you about a minute and a half from now.
National Instruments had a predicament. Bandwidth demands were on the increase. And while growth is good, their IT budget wasn't keeping pace. Not so good. IT needed to deliver more bandwidth to offices around the world while keeping spending under control. That's not so easy. Suddenly, the company that helps engineers accelerate innovation found themselves needing help. Oh, and it needs to be fast, flexible, affordable, and secure too. A tall order, but by no means an impossible one. Not with the decision to turn to us, the people who invented the network in the first place. Using a Cisco SD-WAN solution in Cisco services, we massively increased their bandwidth. Where their budget held them back, we propelled them forward. Now, most companies would be delighted right there, but we went further. Network deployments are faster than ever. And where their old network generated problem tickets faster than anyone could count, the number of WAN-related tickets has decreased 70% in the past year. All of this to prove that between those frozen processes of yours and free-flowing productivity, there's a bridge. Tell us what you're imagining, and we will build the bridge to get you there.
What a fantastic video. Congratulations to National Instruments. That is exactly what that partnership and that Cisco experience is all about. That sums it up so beautifully. We're going to discuss the future of IT operations over the next couple of minutes. I got a great couple of guests back in the studio with me. We're going to start on this side with Antonio Grasso, founder and CEO, Digital Business Innovation. So glad to have you in with us.
Nice, thank you for having me.
And Phil, you're back here. You're here to be a part of it, to help shore up the conversation. I don't need to introduce you again. Everybody knows exactly who you are. Gentlemen, so glad to have you with us to continue everything that we've been building on over the last hour or so and through that terrific innovation showcase. So let's start, Antonio, by talking about the role that AI is playing today within enterprise IT departments, specifically within operations, but we can even go beyond that.
Steve, thank you for the question. You know, we are living in a fascinating world where emerging technology are changing the way we live. And artificial intelligence is one of these emerging technologies that is changing our world. You know, we have machine learning that can automate a lot of things. We live in a world where healthcare can benefit from artificial intelligence, you know, for diagnostic. So the medic will become a better medic using AI, artificial intelligence. But not only in the healthcare, we have also in the business model of the enterprises that conduct, you know, IT operation, how we can analyze data from IT operation. It's unthinkable to do it manually right now. So I think that it's very important to do automation with artificial intelligence to analyze data from IT operation. But how we can do this analysis?
How do we make it realistic, right?
How we can make it realistic, because we have a lot of data. You know, we have Internet of Things that generating data. Because ourselves, we're generating a lot of data while we're just walking. You know, Steve, when we walk, we generate with our GPS, with our mobile phone, a lot of information. This information needs to be collected and then need to be elaborated. So I think that is really unthinkable to do it without training deep learning algorithms that can learn, you know, from data. Learning from data means learning from experience, you know. So I think it's really important that we do not also use our internal data, because in our company we have internal data, but also we can rely on external data.
Yes.
From which source? We need to a trusted source, you know. So I think that Cisco is one of the most trusted sources that can help enterprise to enrich, you know, the training data, to let the deep learning algorithm to be more expert. Let me to say expert, so more data.
Absolutely. So Phil, let me bring you in on this. Let's talk about some use cases where we are seeing everything that Antonio is talking about really coming to fruition. We're seeing it come to life.
Absolutely. And you know, it's one of the areas, probably the principal area, that we've focused all of our innovation time and dollars on in the last few years. And for those who've just caught Alistair Wildman's presentation on business critical services, that's kind of at the forefront of where that AI initiative is really, that's where the rubber hits the road for us. So how we use data empowerment, enrichment of our services that help customers run and operate their solutions at every stage around that life cycle. We have recommendations being made which will prevent problems before they happen. We can identify the top 3 devices in a network that are likely to have an outage before it happens. We are enriching our TAC operation to problem solve faster by bringing customer data in at the right point of the life cycle and their workflow. So at all points across all our support and professional services, we're using both internal and external data, to your point. We're using telemetry from our devices, and the customer's own data from what we know about them operating their solution, combining them, presenting them, putting them through algorithms, coming up with real insights they can actually action.
It's so exciting. Antonio, let me ask you, I want to go to the CIO in particular, as far as their focus goes, right? IT teams, they have to have the AI skills that you were talking about a moment ago, but also everything else, data science, cybersecurity, DevOps. How does the CIO maintain control and deliver that to their team?
This is the challenge, Steve. You know, the role of a CIO is changing, is really shifting from a simple, plug man that plug inside network to a more expert that need, also good skill. But let me to say that digital transformation is not only technology. We are living this epochal change in our world where digital transformation is the technology in digital transformation is only one component of the puzzle. We have also the mindset, we have the culture, so we have people. And when we are talking about people, we talk about talent, we talk about digital skills, So I think the company need to invest also in the skills to let them to grow and to shift the mindset following the epochal shift in our society.
But how do we convince people to do it, Phil?
So, two stats for you, Steve.
Okay, give them to me.
69% of IT leaders believe they will not be successful with their digital transformation because they don't have the right skills in their company. That's quite shocking. A more shocking one for me is actually a Frost & Sullivan survey, which shares that by 2020, there will be 1.5 million unfilled vacancies just for cybersecurity alone. And as a professional hirer of talent, I can tell you that cybersecurity isn't even my most scarce skill set. So those things combined, there's a tipping point with talent right now. So if I were a CIO, and by the way, just a call out, we're trying to understand the challenges around IT management better so we can help solve their problems more. So for those in IT management, if you could go along to the CX booth in the World of Solutions, there's a spot there where you can take the IT operations readiness assessment. It takes 30 seconds. It will help us collect data so we can understand those challenges better. So,
interesting. So
we've reached that tipping point in talent. My advice is, don't even try, because by the time you've hired those skills or grown them, you'll need something else.
Of course.
All right? So stay ahead of the curve, because if you're a customer and you don't have it, well, we do. That's the business we're in customer experience. So my role in making that talent available is actually to make it easy for customers to consume through portfolio offerings, through commercial mechanisms. We have the talent, so you don't need to hire it. That's the bottom line.
That's really interesting. So Antonio, let me ask you, this is a global concern. This is not a local concern. This is not a company concern. This is a global concern about how we bring the talent that we're going to need in as we continue to advance the nature of AI technology and use it to serve the customer better. Getting those people into our organizations and keeping them put and keeping them happy, this is something we're going to be having to look at all over the world, yes?
Yeah, I think we can have a good solution that is to let the resource grow inside. So, but let me to say that when you have a system level restructuring of the entire society, like we are doing now, it's really this is really an issue, It's like the cybersecurity issue, the shortage of good skill, good people, but it's really an issue. I really don't know how we can solve we need to address our talent, our young people to, to choose the correct path, to serve our society.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How do we inspire from this point moving forward, Phil? How do we reach out to people? We listened to what Alistair said just a couple of moments ago. Yeah. His whole idea is get out, do it, make it happen. How do we reach out to the marketplace and get them to take part in what we're trying to accomplish here at Cisco, make them partners with us?
It's a great question. We need to tell the story better, Steve, is my answer. It is an inspirational story, and I think with the talent question, it's a bit of a supply chain challenge, actually. We're not reaching down far enough to inspire our young people to come into IT and make that their career. As the father of teenage children, the conversation I have is kind of, yes, you want to change the world, but IT is changing the world. So don't think about IT as, nerds with skin problems who work in the dark.
That's so antique, right?
I know, exactly. So think about it as a group of world changers, because going back to the AI question, that is what the world is going to be driven by shortly. So IT for me is changing the world, and we need to tell that story way better than we do.
Antonio, do you agree with that? Anything you want to add on top of that?
Yes, I agree with that, and let me to say that I'm personally committed on try to grow young people in developing countries, because they really need to know how our world is changing, So I have many channels on Facebook and Instagram, for young people, try to address them to choose the correct path, to avoid, this skill shortage that we can face in future, or we are facing also in the present. I completely agree with you, Paul, yes.
We always talk about the interconnectivity of everything going on across the depth and the breadth of Cisco service offerings, solutions offerings. This also goes to corporate social responsibility. We are, with our customer experience initiatives, we are trying to bring along the next generation of disruptors to the market. The people who are not just going to build the market, but who are going to create the challenges that are going to drive us to where it is that we need to be.
Absolutely.
Are there any other areas within Cisco where you get the sense that we have an opportunity to contribute to the CX capability?
Oh, absolutely. So the Cisco Academies, our global CSR, world-changing initiative.
We're touching so many lives.
I mean, millions, and we've been going for years.
Yeah.
We're the best in the industry, and that is such a compelling story. Probably haven't got time to tell the whole story right now.
We're actually doing full segments on what's going on with Net Academy.
Okay. So absolutely, that vehicle has the power to inspire young people to do what we're talking about. I think we need to tell a better CX story, if we make it specific to that, within the Cisco Academies, to switch people on to the uniquenesses of what we're doing in the company. But absolutely, that's the vehicle.
That's fantastic. Gentlemen, it has been such a pleasure. What a nice way to end the day. Antonio, Phil, I really appreciate it. And this puts such a great button on the Cisco service experience and the way that we reach out and connect directly with our customers. So thank you, gentlemen. Enjoy the rest of the week. And again, we've been so glad to have you with us all the way along throughout the day. Do not go away yet. We are going to move directly from here into our daily wrap show. We always try to get everyone together, all four of us as hosts at the end of the day, to discuss what it is that's been going on throughout the day and what we can look forward to tomorrow as well. This is the way we can bring the behind the scenes, all of that deep dive information to all of you who are kind enough to tune in throughout the day, today, yesterday, and hopefully tomorrow as well, all the way up through our closing keynote with Mr. Brilliant, Mr. Larry Brilliant, and hopefully you are learning more about that as well. Remember to keep reaching out to us on social media using hashtag CLEUR. I promise we are reading your tweets. Hopefully we are posting back to you very rapidly. As long as you include that hashtag, we will know exactly where to find you, but don't stop. Continue to watch this broadcast on YouTube, watch on Facebook, but we would love for you to watch on CiscoLive.com, where you can use all of the other capabilities available to you as well. Thanks to all of you. We're going to see you in just a moment. Don't go away. The broadcast continues very shortly.